familiar with it, it's just outside Maggie Valley. One of our favorite places to go. And yeah, the storm coming in. And he did a lot of storms, not just the mountain, but at the beach. He would go, if he found out that there was a huge storm at the beach, that was underwater.
Hey, these people like to start.
Scared to death. His life should be carrying on. He's out there. That's Yuma, Arizona, outside Yuma, Arizona. He was offered a job out there. And he and Daddy drove out of Florida, driven down from Phoenix. And to Yuma. And that way Sanders.
I mean, which that's good. You like it more. You get repeat customers.
They said it was magnificent. On our anniversary, which is we're married 58 years, October 28th. And we always
That's graduation.
No, that's
He keeps trying to ask me that. I remember asking me that. I said, Josh, you know,
there is should be one in the picture. There's a real good family picture of John's mother. Had the boys call us. But I I remember
They're really, I
that.
think, it's a dynamic between men versus women, women versus men.
That
They
Benny.
leave with their problems. Every transaction takes longer than you can do fewer transactions. There's so many basic functions. I was talking to the just get the basic functions to work. So far, it's got a couple particular functions. Basic.
You're gonna need to get up, so you should.
You're right, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Is this somebody's 7-Up?
Yeah, that's their order.
I'm gonna put it underneath.
Yes.
No, that's mine.
Yeah, that's here.
Yeah, I was gonna put it underneath instead of it showing out.
Whatever, you still like to find it.
That's yours?
Oh, yeah, no one.
No, mine's right here.
Oh, okay.
There's two.
What have you got in there?
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Nelson family, myself, I want to welcome you here today to the Leah funeral service in honor of John David Nelson. It means a lot that y'all are here to the family, so thank you for coming out. We're going to start with a nice, I think about 7-minute video of John, and then we'll start with the eulogy. So if we can start with the video, it's much appreciated. Start that. Maybe I need to get them to the video. Who started it earlier? Okay. Yeah. No, we need it right now as part of that service. Apologies to everybody, that was a little miscommunication. But, you know, it's really, I'll do filler. So I just really want to say it's great seeing all you old friends out there. And I literally mean old friends now compared to 25 years ago. So thank you. All right, we're on.
Trucking, got the jet still still, keep trucking, like we do the man together. Oh, that's it, life, just keep trucking on. York, Detroit, and it's all on the same street. A typical city involving a typical daydream. Hang it up and see what tomorrow brings. Dallas got its own machine. Houston, the most to New Orleans. New York got the ways and means, and just won't let you be. Most of the cats you meet on the streets think of true love. Most of the time they're sitting and lying alone. One of these days, they know they gotta get going. Out of the door and down to the street all alone. Trucking like a good man once told me you gotta pay your hand. Sometimes the cards ain't worth the dime if you don't lay them down. Sometimes the lights all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me, what a long, strange trip it's been. Right in the world there between the sleeping. She lost her spot, but you know she isn't the same. Living on reds, vitamin C and cocaine. All a friend can say is ain't a shame. But yeah, talking about the low and living like the never slow. Takes time, big place to go. Just keep trucking on. baby, I love you. But if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you make a lot of nice friends out there. But just remember there's a lot of bad and beware. Oh, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by. Oh, baby, it's a wild world. Always remember you like a child girl. Oh, baby, it's a wild world. And it's hard to get by just upon a smile.
Ooh, that was without words, I believe. This morning I woke up about 5 o'clock and I just started thinking about today, and I started thinking about John. And, and what a couple things ran through my head. One was, always the father figure, right? He was such a father figure to so many people. But there was one word that just kept coming back to me, and it was aloha. In Hawaiian, aloha means hello, love, and goodbye. And I started thinking about that. I said, I'm so connected with Dave, Danny, and John, and Elaine, and the family that it seems like yesterday that I met John, and I said hello. And I loved John for 35 years. And now I have to say goodbye. And that's why that word really connected with me. So, we are here today to honor and celebrate the life of John David Nelson. John's life was full of achievements. I think one of the very first pictures out there you saw was John as a little kid playing baseball. A lot of y'all don't know this, but that was in Okinawa. John was a military brat, and John won the award for Best Little League Pitcher in Okinawa that year. And that was one of his greatest first achievements he ever had. So John was having achievements as a very young boy. As I later learned, John also helped open 2 high-end fashion clothing stores in the Orlando area. Surrey's was one of them, and Tippy's the other. And John was always meticulous in his dress. And when he went into these stores, he really made these things thrive. After he left, they didn't work out so well, and eventually a few years later they closed down. But the one thing that we all could say about John is when he came in to work, he was to the nines. His shoes were clean, shiny, pants, always slacks, pressed. He always looked great. Hair, immaculate. So that was really one of his fortes before later on getting into the bar business, where he started as a bartender at Nichols Alley in Orlando, Florida, and then later on was promoted to manager at the Dallas Club, which was Nichols Alley, and became Dallas, which was the time, the John Travolta era of cowboy movies, right, where that was popular. And it was a very busy, productive bar. Both of them were well known. After that, John came to work at the Dollhouse, and he quickly rose to the ranks of general manager. John started in 1982, and I think it was 2016, 2017 that he retired from managing clubs. One thing John always brought with him was that trademark dedication, humor, and passion in everything he did. Those who knew John knew he loved a good joke. The hotter the joke, the better. He loved to laugh, but he was also one of the most caring, thoughtful, and loving people you can meet. Excuse me. I'm with Derek. See why I do this. So one of the things that I always loved about John, that he bragged about was, well, kind of two things. One was John bragged about he had never had a glass of water since 1968. The doctors would tell him, John, you have to drink water, it's good for you. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And he hadn't had a glass of water since 1968. The other one was when I first really started knowing Dave and Danny, and I started working at the club, and Dave would come in and he's like dodging his dad, and his dad would look at me. I've kept this joke to myself, I never shared this really with Dave, and he's like, yeah, I'm not supposed to know my son's high right now. I'm daddy, so I'm not supposed to know that. And so I always laugh and just watch the whole show and enjoy it because I knew what was going on. John had a few happy places, and one of those, as we all know, was the mountains. He loved the mountains. He also loved the flea markets. He would spend hours and days at the flea markets, buying, selling, trading, whatever. That was his pastime. But the one place he really loved the most was the beach. You cannot pull him off the beach. I think when that one time y'all came, he got sunburnt to a crisp. He just wouldn't come off. Yeah. And that was his go-to place. And then, I believe in Ponce Inlet, and one of the ideas is at a later date to spread some ashes in Ponce Inlet, so John will remain in one of his favorite places. John had a very tender side, especially with animals. In later times when John couldn't get around, John would have Elaine put out bird seed in the backyard so he could watch the cardinals come and eat the bird seed. And even if you go to the house today, there's a BB gun, so John could kind of scare the squirrels away from the seed that the birds would eat. But he loved nature, he loved seeing it, but there was nothing he loved. Well, there's one thing he loved more than his family, but what he really loved was his dogs. And you've always had dogs since I've known you in the 35 years, at least always two, if not more. And I remember they had a Dalmatian pass away, and I remember Elaine was just so saddened about this dog's passing. I went out, and a friend of mine's brother had a litter of puppies, and I went out and bought one of the puppies and gave it to Elaine. And that's the puppy you see in all these videos. His name's Norden, and Norden was, well, he's probably kind of like me. He just was a ding-dong. So Norden was one of a kind. I like to say he's the second best dog ever, next to my own. But John would sit there and talk to the birds and whistle at the birds and try to really communicate with them. So he just loved nature. I mean, if you look, what I said is mountains, beaches, animals. I mean, this is for that, you have a big heart, you really, to get in touch with nature. John was a man who cherished music, and probably not the music y'all would think of. John really loved church hymns. And in fact, when you walked in, you might have heard Little Brown Church. I think there was a few others that we had on there. And he loved Christmas songs. And when, at one time, well, twice, John and Elaine packed up their old beat up Dodge hippie van with Dan and Dave and took off across the United States to Washington State. And they would just sing Christmas songs all the way across the United States. And that was one of his favorite things to do. John also liked classical music. But this shocked me the other day, that John, who worked in the clubs for 40 years, did not like club music. He did not like club music. So that's why, you see John come out of the office, probably walk 100 miles an hour, check all I did, and and get back in into the office. John will always stay with me. I'm sorry. John always had a saying that I want to share with you, and it was quite funny. John's saying is, I'm going to miss me when I'm gone. So I think we all understand what he meant, because I know I'm going to miss you, John. I'll miss his smile. I'll miss his energy. The way, like I said, he dashed around the club at 100 miles an hour, just making sure everything was okay, checking in with us. In closing, I will say John loved his extended family. I say this knowing John. He considered everyone here his extended family. John loved seeing people that he worked with in the past or just old friends. He also greeted you with that trademark John Nelson smile that he always had, and we saw plenty of it in these pictures. It's just one of the best smiles I can ever think of. John was not only a great friend to me, but truly like the father I never had. My dad left when I was 1 and I never had it, and that's something John really bestowed, really gave to me, was he would sit down with me and take the time and talk to me. Even when I was wrong, he wouldn't judge you. He'd just say, listen, this and this and this, get it right, So for that, he always delivered the right message the right way, and I love him for that. I just appreciated him. And I reached out to some of the old Orlando employees and sent them pictures and stuff, and that's the response I got back was, I love John. He was like a father to me. And for so many people to say that about John is amazing, because there's so many people who are into themselves nowadays. And John wasn't really that guy. John wanted to share his knowledge, his philosophy, his love, and he did that to everybody. So I think the last thing I want to say is, aloha, John. We miss you. Goodbye, and we love you. Now I'll be reading a reading from the scriptures. The first one will be Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all these days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Second reading, John 11, verse 25, 26. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? Third reading, John 14, 1 through 3. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. At this time, I'm going to invite the family up to speak. And the first speaker is David Nelson.
He pretty much covered everything that I wanted to.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
You had my notes. Thanks everybody for coming. He really hit it on about the father figure. Growing up, we grew up hippies. We took 2 trips to Seattle when we were kids in a hippie band. Loved to go to the mountains. Every Sunday we'd be at the beach. Our house was home base. Everybody was there. He taught us how to play football. That didn't last long. Football, baseball, frisbee, everything. He didn't like soccer. Soccer was no good.
Whoa.
Sorry, he didn't like soccer. Let's see. He treated everybody equal. A lot of the kids in the neighborhood didn't have fathers, so like I said, it was home base. He raised a whole generation of kids there. When Danny wanted BMX when he was 7 years old, instead of getting 1 bike, he got 2. When I was 13, I wanted a computer. I got a 3-wheeler, not 1, but 2. There we go. He didn't play favorites. When we moved up here, he was at the club, but then it was like a whole new generation came in, you know. We raised a bunch of people in Orlando. We had a good time. Came here, new start. The kids, man, he loved you guys. He bragged on you all the time, to everybody. Let's see. We'd go to the beach all the time, Myrtle Beach, for 20-something years, every year, no matter what. When we were kids, we didn't have a choice. Sunday was our beach day. It did not matter. Once a year, we'd go to the mountains, get a cabin, stay there for 2 weeks, and want to buy it and not want to come home. He loved everybody here individually. He cared about everybody here. Goodness. Thank you, David. The next family member to speak is Danny Nelson.
All right, so I'm winging it. Thanks everybody for showing up. I didn't have the notes, and figured the best way to explain my dad is just the good memories that I did have of him. You know, we didn't grow up with a whole lot of money. Mom can attest to that. She was always yelling at Grandma to give me some more, you know. But a birthday didn't go by where I didn't get an orange can of paint for bike, or David BB gun, you know. He was always there for us, no matter what. If he didn't have it, we did. That's just the way it was. He didn't want no water. He didn't want nothing. He just worked. And when it didn't work, he gave it to me and David. I mean, we went bowling every Monday and the beach every Sunday. That was just the way it was. Me and David didn't have a choice on that one either. You know, we went bowling. And the beach, you know. He gave everything to everybody. You know, and when we moved up here, he wasn't really his choice. He was kind of following me, kind of getting out of trouble, and he wanted to keep everybody together. So we decided to come up here. And Breeze, of course, we said Breeze had to go first thing. Dad said, "Where's Breeze?" So he knew how to keep everybody together. Everybody in the neighborhood, like we said, it was our home base. Mark, he's not able to be here today. You know, he's sent his condolences to Mom. You know, yeah. Mark is our third son. Mark's dad raised us. Dad raised him, and You know, Dad always taught me to keep up with myself. He'd probably say, why didn't you go upstairs and get a suit to wear? Got 1,000 of them up there. I tried some of them on, they didn't fit. So, you know. He was always a prankster, always liked telling jokes. He never really got too serious with you, I guess. He never really, well, he never cried in front of me, that's for sure. You know, he was always strong. You know, always quick-witted. He loved his sister, Gracie, Eric's wife. Loved just beating, just tagging, just going at it with each other, you know. That was the way they grew up. That's the way he always was. He never quit being a kid. Never quit. Even up until the day, you know, till the end. He was a different kid, but yeah, he never quit being a kid. You know. Yeah, me and David, we, like I said, I don't know. Dad didn't play favorites. If one of us got something, we both got it. You know, if we went to the BMX races down south, Dad would work all night and be there Sunday morning. You know, never miss one. And I do miss those days. Those were the good days. Growing up to the beach, getting home, driving home, getting a milkshake with them. You know, making the van go as fast over the bridge as we could, make us bounce around, or the Camaro that we had, and he'd grease up the seats and go into S-curves with me and Dave be flying all around the back like pinballs, me laughing his ass off. He just never quit joking. He was always a prankster, no matter what. He can get nasty and mean, but he never quit being fun. You know, that's what he wanted to do. No matter if it offended somebody or not, he just wanted to have some fun. You know, and he just loved us all. He loved the friends. He loved you, Breeze. I mean, you're taking your fourth kid.
I'll take fourth place. I'm good.
Mark got you beat there, but yeah, if I could say, it's none of this has really hit me that hard. I know that it will, because he's probably, like he always taught me, to be strong enough to stand up on your own 2 feet. Don't let nobody push you over. You know, and that's one good thing. You know, there's a lot of good things that he taught me. You know, and he just wanted to be the best for everybody, no matter if it may have hurt somewhere else. He balanced it out. But for me, he was the best dad. Best dad I could have asked for. And like he said, when you two were born, Aiden and Zane, his world changed again. Which, you know, to see him smile again, to see him laugh and joke and have fun with y'all, it was, yeah. So thank y'all for coming, and I'm gonna remember him in the best of ways. He lit up the room when he came in. He's still lighting up the room now. You know, he'll never lose his quick-witted jokes. If I can, driving down the road last week, I've been driving a lot, and man, he just say, "Buck up, kid, get over it." You know, pay attention. You're driving. I can hear him. Hear his voice. You know. And he was always particular about his driving too. If you weren't driving right, you weren't driving right. So you got one thing I learned is to drive right now. So there's a lot of things I've learned from him, and I'm glad. And I know that he's not gone. He's here with us still, in the best of ways. Probably stronger than he was the last few years. And I know he's in a better place. He would probably rather be here right now. But for us, he's out of pain. He's gone. And he's in a better place with the rest of his family, Gracie and Grandma, granddad and everybody else. And Norton and Spanky and Digger, all the dogs. Now he's got Lucy and Miley up there with him. So he's taken care of, I know that. So I'll leave it at that. I do love my dad, and I do miss him. I wish I spent more time with him, but we were a lot alike. So, thanks for being up here and doing this.
You know, before I call on the next family member, I just had to share something is that I sat down at the lane and tried to sit down with David, but David just runs 100 miles an hour and I just couldn't have him sit in a chair for 30 minutes. So, but one of the things I found out is I've known this family for 35 years and we came here the other day and they said, "Oh, what's your names?" David said, "David." I said, "Breeze." And I looked at Elaine. She goes, "Peggy?" I went, "What?" And I found out that's her first name. So that threw me. I thought 35 years later, I found this out. But yeah, I hear all these old stories and I've known them and I love them. I even can think of some more. But yeah. So that being said, Zane, how do you feel when you come on up? Okay, we have Zane Nelson.
All right, so I don't know how you guys didn't cry, but we're going to right now. So. Yeah, you guys moved up to. Oh, nice, cool. I think you talked about him having a second family when he moved up here, and Mom and Dad had us. I had a lot I was going to say. Lost it. Man, I'm going to miss him. He was awesome. He was always trying to joke. And that really rubbed off on me. Sometimes too much. Some people say I'm not like serious all the time, but I know when to be serious, and he taught me that. He taught me how to write my name in cursive. Put that on the back wall. Told you. You guys saw a different side of him, and I saw a different side of him. He wasn't so much serious, but he always wanted to help. And he was always there to help if you needed him. Man, sorry. He was just a great person. And I had so much more I wanted to say, but I don't think I'm going to get through it. Well, thank you guys.
You know, I've always kind of thought that too, like knowing how John was and then seeing Zane in his later years when they'd come visit down in Florida. Yeah, I definitely see the likeness of when John talking with the little joker. Yeah, that was a good point. John joked, but he was very serious too. But, you know, he always lived life a little happy. So, you know, that's probably the nice little hippie side of John. You know, everything was sunshine and great, but he did know the time to take business serious and do it. And that's what people appreciate of him. Like I said before, when John wanted to talk to me, he's on, and you knew, and you just shut the hell up and listened to John, and he was going to guide you right. He always did, and that's why I hear so many people saying he's like a father figure, because he gave good advice, and you needed to listen to it. Before I go on, just a quick note: if you haven't signed the guest book on the way out, please do, so the family can, you know, just have that for the future. Okay. Next person we're going to call up is Eric McCracken.
Oh, that's mine. Yours is underneath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right there.
I will try and make it through without crying. I didn't know him. I didn't know him at all. Many of you probably don't know who that is. Elaine does, I'll bet. That's the John I never met. Here's the John I knew. He was the original wild and crazy guy. John. John was more of a brother than a brother-in-law. I met him when I started dating his sister Grace. She was the dark-haired beauty in some of the pictures. I have now lost both of them. They were the most important people in my life. As soon as John met me, he brought me in as a part of the family. Even before Grace and I were married. As mentioned before, every Sunday morning was Ponds Inlet, no exceptions. We'd sit out on Ponds Inlet, watch David and Danny run around like idiots on their boogie boards. And always when we left, we stopped at the same ice cream place every time and bought ice cream.
It's still there. Yeah.
I have wanted to go back, but I can't. We did a lot of things together. Johnny, Grace, Elaine, and I would spend time with Goldie and her tea. Johnny would give you the shirt off his back. It's the kind of a person he was. I wear this shirt every time I travel because Johnny gave it to me 20-some years ago. One time, he saw me in his shirt, the picture. He said, "Where the hell did you get that shirt?" I said, "Johnny, you gave it to me." And he said, "Oh, that figures." As time went on, I took a job in Pensacola, and Grace and I moved up there, and Johnny came up here. Johnny and Elaine came up to Pensacola once, actually Navarre Beach, to visit us. And David and Danny were very unhappy because there weren't any waves on the Gulf of Mexico. Basically, the only time later we got together was maybe Thanksgiving or Christmas at Johnny and Grace's mother's. We talked by phone occasionally, not enough, according to Grace. She says, "Why the hell doesn't Johnny call me?" I said, "Because Johnny has a family, he's got things to do. Why the hell don't you call him?" Well, one day, they're talking on the phone, and I have to get up to go to the kitchen to get something, and there's a strange car in the driveway. And I went to the door, and there's Johnny on the phone with Grace, talking to her while he was in the house. She lit up. We all lit up when Johnny was around. I had the pleasure a few weeks ago of talking to Johnny on the phone. We talked for probably a half an hour or so. He talked about family. Then he talked about a dozen different things, all in different order, like a plate full of spaghetti. When you talked to Johnny, you shut up and listened. He knew exactly where he was going, and he would get you there. Right now, I think Johnny is everywhere. He's here with us today. He'll be here with us tomorrow. And whenever we need him, he will be there. But I know another place, 2 other places he is. He's in the mountains of North Carolina, watching the sunset, watching the sunrise, and remembering all the time he had there. And he's sitting at the beach at Ponce Inlet, remembering and watching. Johnny someday will be there. Johnny never drank water, but he loved his 7-Up. So here's to you, Johnny. We'll see you someday. Stick around. Thank you.
Nicely done. The next family member I'd love to have up here is Elaine Nelson. Help you a little bit.
Thank you.
For the weekend.
John and I were sweethearts for 60 years. Our 58th wedding anniversary is October 28th of this year. He was and is the love of my life. He was cute and funny at the age of 17 and remained that way for the rest of his life in my heart. He loved to engage people and entertain. In his later years, his doctors and nurses were his audience along with his ever-patient family because he did tend to repeat things due to dementia. We all loved him very, very much. We will miss him greatly. Thank you for coming to say goodbye. I'd like to read this poem. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am softly falling snow. I am the gentle showers of rain. I am the fields of ripening grain. I am in the morning hush. I am the graceful rush of beautiful birds in circling flight. I am the starshine of the night. I am in the flowers that bloom. I am in a quiet room. I am the birds that sing. I am in each lovely thing. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. I live always in your hearts. Thank you.
Wow, that was a fantastic job. Thank you, Lynn. Very touched the heart, really did. I want to open this up, this an opportunity for everybody to speak. I have a microphone right here, so I'm just going to bring it down to anybody who would like to say something about John. I'll bring it to you, and you can just either stand up or stay where you are and say something. So if you're interested right now, just give a little hand raise and I'll come hand it to you. Is there anybody want to say anything?
Okay, I want to acknowledge how I think it's beautiful that everybody that's in this room right now wouldn't be here if it weren't for John and Elaine. I think that, just because they fell in love, everybody in here is here and cares about each other, and we continue to care about each other. And I think that's beautiful. I always cry at funerals. I know that I'm kind of new to the family. I knew John. I didn't know him in the way that you guys did, but I know you guys, and hearing all of your stories, I see a lot of him in all of you. The way that he joked and his spirit and everything like that. So I love everybody here, and I love that we've all been brought together because of him. So I wanted to acknowledge that, and I think that his spirit will live on with everybody that's here. So
Great job. Is there anybody else who'd like to say anything? So I just want to touch on a couple things that Lane said. Lane mentioned, when you go to the doctors, that was his audience. And I think that was spot on, because if you knew John, I've seen John just not feeling well, whatever, and I knew he wasn't well. But when I came over to the house, you better believe John was up. He had a smile on his face. He would not let you know he was feeling bad, And that's just the kind of guy John was. And he's just miraculous, man. He's just a fantastic guy. So, so an announcement before we read the benediction and close this out is that, Michelle, we still planning on the tap room?
Yeah, if there were people that I can join.
Yeah, if you'd like to join us at the tap room, I think it's on Fayetteville Street, something like before.
No, it's the Tap Yard on Automotive Way.
Oh, we had the wrong one. I'm glad you said that. All right, it's the tap.
It's called Tap Yard.
Tap Yard.
And it's 1610 Automotive Way.
1610 Automotive Way. So we will be doing that after here if you'd like to come out, join the family, share some stories. I know I got a lot. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and close, do the benediction. So if everybody just take a moment of silence, and may the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord make his face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. Amen. Well, that was supposed to be the end, and we were supposed to phone up. So I'm just going to go down, and we're going to let the family leave first, and then the rest of us can report afterwards, okay?
Everybody here's
All right, everybody gone. Thank you. Thank you, and on behalf of the family, thank you again for attending.
It's down there by the
Simply true,